digging into what it means to have a successful billing department or financial department in your office. Now, if you're brand new and you're taking over the billing, then in the first module in the downloads, there's a list of vocabulary words if you're not familiar with them. If your primary responsibility is not billing, but you're going through this as part of a cross-training program, then you want to go in there and you want to make yourself familiar with terms that we use a lot when we're dealing with insurance, like assignment or copay or co-insurance. Those are all listed in there. When we start in a chiropractic office, a new CA, chiropractic has a language of its own. We have our jargon. And if you don't understand that, it makes training very difficult. And one area that I find it to be the most difficult is dealing with the financials. So we have given that to you so you have that point of reference. So if there's terms that you're not familiar with or what you hear me talk about, that's your place to go. Now, if you are the billing person in your office, if that's the primary thing that you do, then what we're going to do over these next few videos is we're going to go over your job in detail so that you have the training that you need to be the best you can be. So the first place I start is your financial or your primary responsibilities on everything financial. And the first thing I need you to understand is the financial integrity of your office, it's on your shoulders. It's a big responsibility. It can be a burden or it can be a blessing. You see, when chiropractors are successful, there's things that they can do. They can educate themselves, they can educate their community, and they can do what you're doing right now and educate and invest in you. So more than just keeping the doors open and serving the patients, there's always a fine line because a chiropractor is still running a business. And so we need to make sure that the services he or she is providing, that there is an exchange for that. And in our world, the exchange is money. So, first thing on your shoulders is that responsibility to keep your office financially healthy. Now the next thing, we get into more of the daily nitty-gritties. Now, you need to make sure that you understand how to verify insurance. So when a new patient comes in, you can check on their benefits. And this needs to be done very well and very effectively and efficiently so that when you go to do a payment plan, that you can make that as accurate as it can be. Now, if we're looking at cross-training opportunities, everyone in our office is trained on how to call and check on an insurance, to check on the verification of the benefits. There is a form in your download this month, and it will have what we use in our office. And we'll go into that further on another video. But it's a great place for you to start as far as looking for places in the billing systems, in the financial systems, where your fellow teammates can help you out and back you up. Now, fair or not fair, but as the billing or the financial CA, you need to understand the patient's EOBs, their explanation of benefits. Most of our patients and most of the world we live in really don't truly understand what their benefits are or how they work. So it's on our shoulders to make sure we understand that because we're going to be the ones most likely answering the questions more often than not. And the last thing that you get to do is to make sure every ounce of communication that has to do with billing and finances that you're controlling. That might be front desk collections. That might be patient to explain why insurance has come back differently in a positive way or a negative way. And you should be reporting to your doctor on a weekly basis where you are as far as what your collections are, what your receivables have been, or your collections, but what your charges have been, what your write-offs have been, and what you've collected so far. Because that way, when we keep track of that on a weekly basis, we can stay on top of things. If you are doing your absolute best to make sure everything's coming in and there is a drop in collections, and we can pinpoint that it's front desk, then we know that communication needs to be improved. And whether it's that you're not communicating to the front desk or if the front desk is being communicated, but they're not following through. So then we have a training opportunity and to role play, okay, these are the patients that have a balance that we need collected on their next visit. And so we have a way to go through and be prepared for that. It's not always the easiest conversation when we're asking for money. We feel like we're confrontational, and it shouldn't be. Because like you've learned so far in this training, what these patients are getting is a life of opportunity. It's something they didn't have before they started chiropractic. And so it's only fair to have an even exchange for that. And when we have financial systems that are clear, concise, effective, and efficient, then we don't have these uncomfortable conversations or what might feel like confrontational conversations when we're asking people for money. They're few and far between. So, when we know that we want to have a collection rate of 95% every month, then you need to make sure that you're communicating with your teammates on what's going on and with your doctor what's going on and what we need to do to make sure we work as a team to get collected what's collectible.